And we are live. So thank you everyone for joining the call. Make sure you're sharing this because what I'm going to share with you today is absolutely needed. So you know what? It's time to focus. So here on Facebook Live, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. You know who it is. It's the one, the only Natural Lady Boss L Grant. You know me also as L Boogie. So here is the question. The question that I pose for this 800 call is having an 800 plus credit score worth it? Is it worth pursuing? And you know what the answer is? Yes. Of course, aiming for that 800 credit score and above is enticing, and some may not care. However, the higher the credit rating, the better. But let me give you a few facts that you just may not know. Did you know that 23% of the U.S. credit population has a score of 800 to 850? 23%. 85% of people scoring 800 plus or over are over the age of 43. I'm not going to tell my age, and no one else better tell my age either, but it's kind of sad that we only have those that are over 43 that's over a 800 plus score. Don't you think it should be more of the millennials, more of the young people that have these 800 plus scores? I mean, now the times are changing because a lot of us adults who's out here now and a lot of us who are here in Nove, we have the opportunity to show our kids and other kids in our family and the kids in our neighborhood that, you know, by the time you're 18, you should have a 800 credit score, or you should be getting ready to build up to have an 800 credit score. But as long as you stay tuned to someone who's here in Nove, someone who's going to guide you the right way into having that 800 credit score, you will not go wrong. Now, how do you make the most of it? How do you make the most of a 800 plus credit score? So what I want to do first is I'm going to give you some credit score basics because you need to know where you've been in order to go where you're going. So payment history makes up 35%, whether you've paid your bills on time. Well, you should be paying your bills on time. So whether you paid it on time or you paid it late, 35% of that makes up your credit score. Now, amount owed comes up to 30%. So that's how much credit and how many loans you have. So if you have student loans, if you have credit card loans, you have car loans, all of that comes into play. Mortgage, all of that comes into play with your amount owed. So that's 30%. Length of credit history is about 15%. So that's how long you've had credit. So of course, the longer you've had credit, the better. Credit mix. Now that's 10% of your credit score. And that's the type of credit you've had. So mortgage, auto loans, credit cards, all of that. And lastly, but not least, is new credit. And new credit is worth 10%, which is the frequency of your credit and inquiries and new account openings. So we're going to get back to some more basics. Now, this is why it's so important that it's worth pursuing that 800 credit score. When you have less than a 580, that's considered poor. So that means you're well below average, and it demonstrates to leaders that you're a risky borrower. So if right now you have less than a 580 credit score, it's time to get that credit up. Now, if you're between a 580 and a 669, you're pretty much in the fair range. Now, I'm going to be very transparent. I'm in the fair range right now, thank God, because I was in the poor. You know, I have 2 degrees. I have a bachelor's. I have a master's. I graduated summa cum laude with summa cum laude with mine. And paying back these student loans is kicking my butt. But I've had my master's for quite some time. So, you know, I took a hit because there was times I wasn't working. And, you know, I was home. I'm a single mom. I'm taking care of my son who's on the autism level. I'm taking care of my mom who, you know, it's my turn to take care of her because she used to take care of me. So, you know, my credit took a hit at some times, but thanks to Nove, I'm able to get it back. Now, I'm telling you now, this is not a sales call, but I just wanted to share with you what it has done for me. And I'm being transparent with you that right now, my credit is fair, but it's getting up there. I'm going to be in that 800 plus club. So when you are in the 580 to 669, that means you're below average. Many lenders will approve loans, but the rate won't be as great. That's why I have to get that up. I'm closer to where we about to go next, which is the 670 to 739, which is the good range, right? So this means near or slightly above average. Most lenders consider this a good score. Now I'm right on this range right here, right there. So I'm about to be good. Hopefully after these scores come in, I'll be good. And then we have from 740 to 799, which is above average. Now that means you've demonstrated to lenders that you're a very dependable borrower. And then of course, we have the 800 plus, which is exceptional, is where you want to be at, which means you're well above average. And it demonstrates to lenders that you're an exceptional borrower. And of course, you're going to pay your bills on time. So in 2019, the average score for the United States was a 704. We could do better this year. Now, of course, you know, we are living a new normal. If you didn't know, if you're living under a rock, we are living in a new normal. But that doesn't mean you cannot have that 800 plus score. You just have to step out on faith in order to do it. You have to step out and make sure that, you know what, I'm not going to sit back and just wait 7 years for my credit to get better. And trust me, it won't. You're not going to sit back and just be like, you know what, I'm not going to pay it because it's not going to do nothing for me. That's not the approach you're going to take. You're going to take the approach of getting to that 800 plus credit score. Now, these are the benefits that I'm going to give you, that this is the reason why you're going to pursue to get at 800 credit score. So not just having bragging rights, because we have a few people already in Nove that have the 800 plus credit score and they have bragging rights, but you get to take advantage of so many financial benefits, right? So number one, you're more likely to be approved when applying for new credit cards. Now, how many times have you gotten in the mail where it says you're pre-approved? You know, they get it and then they're like, oh, well, you still have to fill out an application. And then when you get back, they tell you you're denied because your credit is bad. That's because they did a soft pull on your credit. And then once you did and filled out the credit, once you filled out the application, they did a hard pull and then they see that your credit is jacked up. Therefore, we cannot give you any lines of credit. But when you have an 800 plus credit score, by all means, that doesn't happen. Next, you will qualify for lower standard rates and higher credit card limits. So let's say when you started out and you got your credit card and, you know, they tell you that first your limit is $1,000. But as your credit score goes up and things like that, all of a sudden they send you a letter in the mail saying, hey, we're increasing your score. We're increasing your limit to $5,000. We're increasing your limit to $15,000. We're increasing your limit to $20,000. That's all because you have an 800 plus credit score. Now tell me, just right there with those two alone, isn't it worth pursuing? I think so. Now, of course, these higher credit limits and lower rates is for mortgage, auto loans, you know, and credit cards, of course. And number 3, you'll qualify for better credit cards with better rewards, such as high class or scale, or airport, hotels, lounges. You can earn cash back, airline miles, etc. And for a couple of us in November, we're about to head out to Vegas. So we need to make sure that these credit scores are so far up that we can get into those high airport lounges that no one ever gets to seem to get to, these hotel lounges that you don't know even exist. Like you'll just walk past and don't know that it's a hotel lounge that you could only get if you're a premier member. That means you have that 800 plus credit score. I've been in a few. Lord knows I need to get there. But I will. So what's the bottom line here? What's the bottom line with pursuing this 800 credit plus credit score, right? That's what you want to know. So the bottom line is your credit impacts not just what I mentioned previously, but it can also impact your job. Now, I'm here in New York, and right now they have it in place that you cannot, based upon somebody's job application, you cannot hire them because of their credit. If they have bad credit, it's illegal for you to use that as basis to not hire or hire them. We ain't going to talk about the other reasons, but we know why. But maybe where you're at, they use that against you. So wouldn't that mean that you want to get your credit up because, you're looking to get a particular job? Now, of course, here at Nove, we do not mind people having jobs. We're for people having jobs because we want to make sure that you get what you need from Nove in order to do what you have to do when it comes to a job. And if you didn't know that we have some tax benefits and tax education that'll help you while you're on a job right now. I work for the city of New York. It's great. I actually just made 8 years working for the city, and coming from someone who, like I previously said, I have a bachelor's degree in business management. I have an MBA in business management. Then I went unemployed for 5 years. 5 years I went unemployed. And then in 2012, I got called up to work for the first city agency that I worked for. It was a great opportunity. I learned a lot from the people there, and they told me, look, hey, while you're here, don't stay here. Learn what you got to do your 2 years and get out. I did 18 months. Once they found out before I left and they found out that I had the education, the question was, why are you working for the city? I said, because private sector is afraid of me. We know why. But, having the education that I have, I got the runaround. It was either I had the education but not the experience, or I had the experience and not the education. When I end up with both, private sector wasn't hiring me. So I was grateful to get the job with the city of New York. Like I said, I had the first agency. Then in 2014, I switched and got promoted to another agency. Now I've been with that agency. It's about to be 7 years, and I'm grateful for it. But I've learned so much being in Nove with the tax benefits and the deductions that I'm earning so much more money than I was before I even got into Nove. And that's just from my job. We're not even talking about what I get in Nove, but we ain't going to talk about money. No. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about money because we're talking about this credit. Because right now, my goals is I'm making sure that my son, who's 17, he's going to have an 800 credit score by the time he turns 18. Hopefully, he don't tear up my credit cards, because buying 2 PS5s, one for him, one for me, it's going to be a lot, but I got to do it, right? I'm taking care of my mom, like I said before, but I'm purchasing a house. I'm purchasing a house for my mom and my son. Now, we stay in the house now, but I want to purchase my own house. So this house, I already have it set up in my mind. I have it set up in my board, but there's no way I'm not going to get there if I don't get this 800 score. I want to have the best rate, the best score, so I can have the best leverage when I go in there and says, here's my pre-approval for my mortgage. Let me go look for my home, right? So like I said, credit impacts your jobs. It impacts housing. When you are looking for an apartment, I used to work for a company where we had to do rent check. So basically we had to do a background check on a person with their rentals, not home ownership. They're just renting the apartment. So if you had evictions, if you had any type of negative items on your credit report, you was denied. And it was sad to say, because I literally grew up in this same neighborhood, the same building. I was actually trying to get my old apartment, which was crazy. I was trying to get my old apartment, and I could have got it if the person got evicted, but they was actually paying their rent on time. So it's a good thing. But imagine you are going out just to get an apartment, and they deny you because your credit is low. They deny you because you had a rental eviction on there that maybe you wasn't even a part of. that you just happened to stay at the house and they put your name on it regardless because you was in the house when it was time to be removed. That has happened to so many people. I talk to a lot of people about when it comes to housing because I work for one of the largest housing authorities in the world. So I hear it all the time, and people in this authority, they're pretty lucky that they don't go based upon credit. And it's a shame that they don't take advantage of the fact that just because they don't go based upon the credit, this is the time that you should be going and making sure you have that 800 credit score. Even if you're starting out right now with a 400, it's okay. You have to start somewhere. You start at that 400. You do what you need to do. You make sure you get all the education you can, and you don't let nobody stopping you. You don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody get in front of your way of getting to your dreams. Because you don't want to stay in the hood forever. I mean, some people do, but I didn't. My parents didn't want me to stay in the hood. Right now, the neighborhood I live in, it's a little hoodish. It's a little hoodish, but we live in a house. But it's not far where there's two different developments we live in between. So it is pretty dangerous, having my son. He's young, and I don't want nothing happening to him. I don't want nothing happening to my mom. I damn sure don't want nothing happening to me because I'm the one taking care of them. So like I said, you want to make sure that your credit is good, especially for housing. Now, what about when you're getting a car and home insurance rates, rental insurance, things like that. All of this is based upon your credit. People don't think that. They're like, oh, it's just based upon where I live. No, boo-boos. No, I'm here to tell you that when it comes to auto insurance, it's not just where you live. It's not just if you have anti-lock brakes on your car, if you have an alarm system on your car, if you have tinted windows. It's not just that. It's also based upon your credit score. So if you're thinking, oh, you paying $300 a month, that's including what you're paying for your car a month plus insurance, you could go someplace else and end up paying cheaper. But you're like, oh, that's because the area. No, it's because your credit score went up, or maybe your credit score went down and now you're paying more in car insurance, right? And of course, like I said, home and renters insurance, it goes based upon your credit as well. People don't think that, but that's why you're on this 800 call, because that's what it's for. This is for giving you the information that you need to succeed in getting this 800 plus score. 800 plus credit score. Sorry about that. But this number is so important. You want to keep track of it and take the necessary steps to improve it. Now, like I said, I started low. I was like Medea. I was dropping it like it was warm with this credit score. It was warm. It wasn't hot. It was warm. But I'm raising it up. And I'm going to continue raising it up. But like I said, I'm doing the steps that's necessary to make sure that I get it done. Now, I didn't say this before, but I've had about $15,000 in student loans removed thanks to Nove. Like, I would have never thought that would have happened. And right now, I can tell you right now, it started out well over digits. I had some loans out there. Let me tell you that. I had some loans out there. Paying for your master's degree is something. And here I am thinking, oh yeah, go get a PhD. I might have to slow down on that real quick. But getting $15,000 worth of student loans removed just off of Nove right now. And now on top of that, it's getting ready to look like maybe more is getting ready to come off. And let's just say that the government give us this bailout for student loans. If they take away $50,000 of my loans, let me tell you, I am going to dance. I'm going to dance. I'm going to dance. I'm going to dance. I'm going to dance on this roof of this house if they take away $50,000 loan, because that means my credit score is shooting up. So let's all pray that we get all of those that have student loans. Let's make sure we get $50,000 at least removed, because some of us, that could be all we had. That could be less You know, if we have $20,000 in student loans, imagine if they're going to say up to $50,000 you're going to get rid of. Dance your way into that 800 plus credit score, because it's going to happen. Make sure you put it on your vision boards, by the way. Don't just say it. Don't just think it. It's on my vision board. I can't show you yet because it's a little messy over there. But it's there. It's there. I'm telling you, we gonna praise it something crazy. I get to that. But I'm saying. But like I said, let's get back to finishing this. If you're looking to join that 800 plus score and having the troubles escaping and you're having trouble escaping the negative remarks, and you're just tired of the calls, you're tired of just everybody like, I need money, I want this, you got to pay this, we're going to give you some time, but you still got to pay this. Matter of fact, I just got a letter saying that my forbearance expired for my student loan. So you know I'm about to make a payment before they take a hit on that. Before they take a hit and be like, all right, she ain't paid, let's take some more of her credit score. Nah, buddy. Nah, I'm making sure I pay my bills on time. You got to make sure to pay your bills on time. Make sure that you're going to annualcreditreport.com and you could get a copy of your credit report from all 3 credit bureaus. But guess what? What you can do, just forget all of that. The person that shared this call with you, the person that shared this broadcast with you, just ask them, what can Nove Money do for me? That is just the one simple question that you can ask, is what can Nove Money do for me? That's it. They're going to tell you everything that Nove Money can do for you. With this 800 call, plus our mentorship calls, plus Money Matter calls, and then when you're in, you get to learn a whole lot more secrets. But you have to ask that elusive question, what can Nove Money do for me? So thank you so much for joining me tonight on this call. It's time for me to go be the Phoenix, go be Wonder Woman, and any other type of characters you could think of. Thank you so much for joining me today on tonight's 800 call. Make sure you check out Sunday's mentorship call. I am the one, the only Natural Lady Boss L Boogie, and you guys have a great night. Peace.